Are you a Formula One fan who would love the opportunity to race in the sport one day? Are you someone who is probably too old to start a Formula One career? And are you someone who has a heap of money and is looking to spend it on an expensive hobby? If you answered yes to all of those questions, then come around and learn about the story of Chanoch Nissany, who did exactly this and fulfilled his dream of driving in a Formula One car in an official Grand Prix. And who knows, if you have millions and millions of dollars just randomly sitting in your bank account, then you might be able to achieve such a similar feat. Starting off the story, and Chanoch Nissany was born on the 29th of July 1963 in Israel, and he went on to become a very wealthy real estate businessman, and it was like this for a while. But one day, all of this changed when he attended the 2001 Hungarian Grand Prix, where out of nowhere, Nissany decided that he would pursue his new dream of becoming a Formula One driver. As expected, his friends thought that he'd become a bit crazy, but he did have something that even most talented drivers don't have: a shit ton of money. Nissany made his racing debut at the very late age of 38, where he entered into the 2002 Formula 2000 Hungarian National Championship, where he did finish runner-up, though it should be said that this category of racing was rather amateurish. Nissany would again enter into the same championship a year later. This time he would clinch the championship. He would additionally enter into two extra racing categories the same year, taking part in both Central European Zone Championship E2 2000 and the World Light Series Championship. In the World Light Series, Nissany would compete in most races, but could only manage a season best 7th place as he finished 14th overall out of 16 participants. 2004 saw Nissany compete in the third season of the Hungarian National Championships, and he dominated even more as he went on to claim 195 points, his highest ever tally in this category, as he easily won the championship in back-to-back seasons. 2004 would also mark Nissany achieving his dream. Well, sort of. He was able to gain a contract to become Jordan's test driver for a very brief period of time that would see him test the car on July 15, 2004 at Silverstone. He did 25 laps in the car in what was a rain-affected session. Nissany would be painfully off the pace, over 16 seconds behind Kimi Räikkönen and 14.5 seconds off teammate Giorgio Pantano. But hey, he's got a lot of money, and seeing that Eddie Jordan was absolutely desperate for it at the time, I'm sure the team didn't really care too much, if I'm being brutally honest. Money, again, was the only factor in Nissany securing a free race contract late on in the 2004 International Formula 3000 season. As expected, he was well off the pace and could only manage a 12th place finish in the final race of the season. Despite the fact he was obviously nowhere near the standard needed to become a Formula One driver, his fat wallet kept attracting him the interest of bottom-feeder teams, and ended up signing with Minardi as the official test driver for the 2005 season. But I gotta say that before signing as the official test driver, he did some tests with the team at Nissany, and for the most part was only 2 to 3 seconds behind his fellow teammates, and even just 1.5 seconds back on Thiago Monteiro on one of the test sessions. This would be shocking for just about every other Formula One driver ever, but considering this is Nissany we are talking about, it was actually pretty good progress. His time as official test driver didn't start off well at all, and it really stayed this way for the entirety of his tenure. In fact, one of his test sessions went so badly that he spun his car in 5 out of 6 laps ran at Misano, causing 2 red flags in the process. He would continue to stink it up in the test sessions, but Nissany's ultimate dream to participate in an F1 Grand Prix weekend would become fulfilled, as with major thanks to his personal sponsor of UPEX, Nissany got his opportunity to drive in a free practice 1 session at the Hungarian Grand Prix. This is where the story reaches its peak. The occasion was particularly special for him, as he got to drive in his place of residence in Hungary, where he had gained a bit of a following and cult status. Combine this with the fact that he got to do this on his 42nd birthday made it just that little bit more special for him. The anticipation for his appearance was huge, as local media outlets were demanding to speak to him as he prepared for the event, and when he did eventually come out, it was received with applause, and he went off to put some laps in. Bizarrely, on the second lap, he called to his team on the radio that he would be coming in, because his car had too much grip. I kid you not. That was his response. So Nissany came into the pits, and once the team had supposedly rectified the problem, he comes back out and he does stay out a little longer to his credit. But with 17 minutes to go in the session, Nissany span into the gravel where his car had to be towed by a crane. But the embarrassing bit here is that he didn't even know how to detach the steering wheel from the car, so he had to stay in the car while it was being towed. This spin ended his session, and he was just about 13 seconds slower than the quickest car in Alex Wirtz, and nearly 7 seconds slower than fellow Minardi driver Christian Albers. After this, he was replaced of his free practice 1 duties by Enrico Torricello. Nissany would do a few more tests for Minardi before leaving his duties, as Minardi were to become Toro Rosso. In future years, he would win the Formula 2000 Hungarian National Championship 3 more times between the years of 2006 and 2009 before putting racing to a complete stop in 2014. Fast forward to the current day, and he's still around the paddock from time to time, as his son Roy is now in Formula 2, racing for Dams, and he has easily surpassed his father's achievements, having entered multiple FP1 sessions in Formula 1 and having scored a podium finish this year in Formula 2. Although to be honest, I gotta say that he still isn't one of the better drivers on the grid. I guess looking back at the whole story overall, and I can't fault Chanoch Nissany's determination to realise his F1 dreams. He may have done this with money rather than talent, but then again, a lot of people would be envious of anyone who gets to drive a Formula 1 car, especially in a legitimate Grand Prix session. And thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content, like the video if you enjoyed it, and follow me on my socials.